Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, back here with Sheldon. Getting a lot of interest, a lot of questions about Sheldon's view on tech, some upcoming tech he's seeing, he's invested in, things he's interested in. So we'll do a little kind of tech chat today. But first things first, Sheldon, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Jason. You?
Yeah, good, good. I know you're busy. We're talking about obviously the amount of things out there, amount of new deals potentially you guys are looking at. So hopefully some things to come. But yeah, things are great. Where to kick it off? I mean, do I just ask any interesting tech you're looking at right now, and what are you seeing out there?
Well, probably seeing more tech deals than we're seeing any deals of any sort. And tech comes in all shapes and sizes. We had invested in a company which has blown up substantially called St. George's. That I invested originally for its mineral assets, and then it had some great battery tech and recycling and lithium extraction tech, and boom, next thing you know, it's gone up multiple times, and that was collateral damage, but this was collateral benefit. But it's just, yeah, I mean, and companies that we're already involved with, like Matrix, are just loaded with tech. We're finding that the companies that already we've invested in that have technology are getting more technology, and the businesses and the platforms are all expanding substantially. And there's a lot of tech deals, and many have merit. It used to be, I mean, obviously it's like in mining, closeology, where there's a discovery and then everybody around it, promotes what they have. But there's some really good quality technology companies out there, that are looking for capital.
Yeah. No, I know there's a few I know of, and I'm sure people know of as well publicly. I mean, hey, there's some cool mining technology. You talked about one. There's other kind of AI to look at drill holes. I know we've talked about, so that's obviously interesting. But then you talk about Loop, so obviously tons of technology there, and it looks like you guys are having a big look at kind of DeFi, crypto, blockchain stuff as well. So you're seeing a ton of new technology. Do you want to kind of give anyone an overview of other companies and technologies you're looking at?
Well, things that we look at, that we're looking at things all the time. So the names of things, but it's the applications that, there's imaging technology. Yes, you mentioned decentralized finance. We invested in Intelligentsia, or IntelliBridge, I should say. And maybe it is Intelligentsia, and it's in the DeFi space. We're looking for more companies in the DeFi space. Not easy to find. We have ZU, and I think it's a real sleeper and very good share capital structure. But yeah, I mean, there's not a day that goes by. I mean, we're still getting a lot of deal flow in psychedelics. We've talked about that. Quality, not so good. I mean, this is about science, so it's got to be really good scientific people and a significant application to come. But there's lots of intersection between technology and mining. We talked about Wind Geotech, and then they went out and did the landmine deal with Dragonfly, who has drone technology. So a lot of drone technologies coming out. I mean, the U.S. market is just exploding with SPACs, and they're acquiring technology companies and things like, Air Uber now, where you can get into your little, I don't even know if they call it a helicopter, what they call those things, and you can jump around, and there's going to be a lot of traffic up in the sky. So technology has so many applications now. We all know about the digital world and what's happening there. And digital meaning, technology like us talking here through a Zoom call, or technology as it relates to currencies, finance, fintech has been an exploding area for many years. And we have a flagship company there, Peak Positioning. It's just what it's going to do is just going to blow people away, I think, in terms of what that company is going to be able to achieve based on its platform, which is micro lending in fintech. And every government wants to be more efficient in fintech. So, you're finding a lot of governments are partnering to projects and not taking as long as they used to. So that's good. That's credibility, marketing partners, endorsement, et cetera. So yeah, technology is a big word.
No, good. You touched on something that I see a lot of questions about. You mentioned the word SPAC, and I want to ask, and I feel like you'd be the perfect person to give some insight. Lots of people, of course, tons of new investors get into the space, and all you see is people talking about SPACs in some different areas. Do you want to kind of intro? I see people asking all the time, "What is a SPAC? Should I be looking for SPACs? Like, how does it work?" Do you want to shed some light? Maybe this is a perfect time to, educate some people.
Yeah, I mean, really what it is, we call it in Canada a shell. So basically, it's a special purpose vehicle. There are some rules around it, just like CPCs are empty boxes, which had a lot of rules around them in terms of being able, you have to do a transaction. Thing about SPACs is it takes it to an institutional level. We're talking here big sponsorship, big money, and typically around top-notch management teams. That's all about the management team. I was watching a couple of days ago. One was the Wrigley family that sold Wrigley chewing gum and has a SPAC. And then yesterday, a brilliant man, forget his name, Reed something, who started LinkedIn. And actually, his SPAC has to do with these air vehicles. So you take people that have great track records, you put them in front of a blank company, a blank check company where everybody just wants to have a piece of what that person is going to do, and they pay for it. They're promoted. I mean, the owners of these SPACs get huge rewards for putting these things together. So realistically, they're not worth anything until the deal's done. But it's, to me, just all about the management team. It's who the management team's going to be, and they typically have a very strong track record, and that's why the underwriters agree to raise the capital to back whatever deals they're going to look for.
Yeah. No, interesting. Good insight. Look at the management team and place your bets. Obviously, there's tons of hype. Some are getting crazy valuations in some cases, but, lots of people, it seems like, making money, which is fantastic. Curious, some people are asking, how does someone put an empty company, trading? And maybe, do you want to give some insight on kind of that process? Because I know a lot of people are even asking, how does this even happen? Do you want to shed any light there?
Well, it's, in Canada, people have heard of reverse transactions, RTOs. And, it's basically a shell company that's just regulated, and a certain amount of capital's there. And then a private company, everything's private initially, mostly. And then the public company just goes out and makes typically an offer to buy the private company for shares, maybe some cash. I haven't looked at the deal structure of many of them. And it's just anybody with a corporation that really they think has, meets the criteria of these SPACs. They all have specific criteria. So, some people I saw one today in the sort of hospitality industry, a group out of Union Square, which had a big track record. And so CNBC loves to parade these guys on, promote them and their companies. And they're basically just shells with proven management teams and with an edict and a plan to go out and acquire certain type of business. If you're in the hospitality business or was your background, that's probably what you're going to acquire. If you're a tech guy, you're going to acquire tech.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Hey, interesting, good outlook. I think you answer a lot of people's questions, which is awesome. Curious, just as what you're seeing deal flow wise, or where you're looking. In tech, you obviously talk about DeFi, talked about some drone type stuff as well. Any other just kind of sections of tech you guys are looking at, or you're seeing kind of coming up?
Well, I think tech, like I say, tech's a big word. I'm actually starting to get a bit more aggressive in my junior mining investments because I believe that we're closer to a junior market. We have a senior market, but not a junior market. A lot of money's been taken out of the mining side and gone into Bitcoin, and that's been a headwind. And so that is a good time to look at something that really is you. And why I like to look at it now is I believe the valuations are very reasonable. As soon as it starts, then everybody can see. Look at what a Bitcoin mining operation, which you could have bought 6 months ago to a year ago to 2 years ago, for pennies, like Riot Blockchain at $2, and the next thing you know is $80. And these are the types of moves that happen. So, you don't want to necessarily chase what everyone else is chasing. So, we've been starting to deploy some capital into junior mining, but I happen to really like the tech that is popping up here or there, and it just sort of, I see what comes across my desk, and we look at a lot on a daily basis. We have a pretty very prolific deal flow, but specifically, it could be anything. All kinds of things approach us, and just because we're not looking for it doesn't mean we won't like it.
Yeah. No, interesting. Well, we'll have to do a deeper dive, some more junior tech stuff or junior mining stuff, what you're looking at, things like that, maybe next week. But I think this was great. A little intro video kind of about tech. I know some people were asking questions about what you're seeing. I think you gave them a good insight. Anything else about technology type stuff you want to kind of get out there?
Well, we're going through a bit of a consolidation here, correction on NASDAQ. I think it's very healthy. I think the valuations have gone way too far, but I believe in the junior tech side. It just keeps getting better and better, and I wouldn't be afraid to make an investment in one that has not had the craziness where everybody's running after it, like they've done with battery technology or battery recycling that I've seen, and we've been a big beneficiary to, but didn't really even know it that deeply when we were investing, and yet it was a technology that just popped out. Maybe some people have been waiting for it. I wasn't really focused on it at all, but anything in battery recycling and has been just, they've just all blown up positively.
Well, that's awesome. No, look, it's some great insight. I know a lot of people love hearing from you. Some good overview on a SPAC as well.
No,
So very
sure.
interesting. And next week I see we can do some mining, and I invite anyone who's watching these, let us know what you want to hear about junior mining, and I'm sure Sheldon could spread some of his knowledge. But Sheldon, thanks very much for joining. This was a great video.
Oh, Jason, thank you.